To travel in June and July for the World Cup.
Thousands of teething toys being pulled from Amazon after being linked to choking incidents. The CPSC says the silicone pull strings are smaller than they're supposed to be and can get into the back of a child's throat and stuck. Federal officials received 32 reports of choking incidents related to this recalled teething toys sold on Amazon from June to October of 2025.
Good Day Chicago at 8 starts now.
And right now at 8 o'clock, a man arrested in Bolingbrook after a dramatic encounter with federal immigration agents. We will tell you what both sides are saying. Representative
Ilhan Omar attacked. This is the video. The moment a man sprays her with a mystery liquid caught on camera.
Plus, the doomsday clock ticks closer to midnight. One of the scientists who decides just how close we are to the apocalypse joins us in studio to explain the process behind that marker.
And let's take a live look outside. Probably not surprised it is cold once again. And there's a chance we could see not one, but two more rounds of snow.
What? Caitlin, It's so nice and clear and blue and bright outside. 2 rounds of snow in our future?
Yeah, you know, I would curious about that interview coming up, by the way. Do they ever go in the opposite direction?
Good question.
Like, do they ever add time?
Back at, well, I'm doing that interview. I will be sure to ask.
Okay.
Thank you, Andy.
Good. Curious minds. It is beautiful today looking. Of course, it's cold again. Tomorrow is going to be sunny. Sunny sky is not the issue, of course. It's the temperatures and the wind chill. So looking at our satellite radar, here's the regional view. You can see for us, it's nice and dry and it's quiet, the weather. But temperatures are chilly. 2 degrees is the actual temperature at the lakefront. 1 degree below zero from Chicago Heights to Valpo to Woodstock. 1 single degree at O'Hare. 3 at Midway. Feeling like we could be around 10 to almost 20 degrees below zero currently. Feels like 11 degrees below zero at the lakefront. 13 degrees below zero at O'Hare. I'm seeing a 17 degree below zero temperature from Valpo to Woodstock. Here's your next 48 hours. This afternoon, quiet, mostly sunny. Temperatures climbing to the upper teens. We could actually feel like the low single digits finally climbing above zero for the wind chill. And tomorrow is going to be much of the same. Sunny skies Thursday with highs in the mid-teens. Then the chance for snow. I'll time that out for you ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Caitlin. We have some breaking news to get to. Police in Oswego are investigating a homicide. Sky Fox was just over the neighborhood where this happened, in the 400 block of Valentine Way, where police found a woman dead inside a home. Witnesses in that neighborhood say that they saw a man running in that area. Police say a man matching their description was then pulled over and the driver was taken into custody. However, investigators are now asking folks who live in the following neighborhoods to check their security cameras, okay? If you live in Prescott Mill, Hudson Point, and Echelon, check your security cameras for anything suspicious and contact police if you do notice anything. All right, other news, a man is charged with murder after a tragic crime in Downers Grove.
Gabriela Primus has that and other top stories that we're following this morning.
Yeah, let's start with that one. Prosecutors claim 19-year-old Nadis Ravutkas killed a pregnant woman and lit her apartment on fire. It happened just after 6 Monday night near the intersection of Ogden Avenue and Roosevelt Road. Medics say the 30-year-old victim appeared to have been attacked with something sharp. Ravutkas is facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder and arson. Police have not said whether he and the victim knew each other. The coroner is trying to find out exactly how she died. 2 people are fighting for their lives in the hospital after crashing a stolen car overnight. Police say they found the car slammed into a viaduct near the intersection of North Marquette Road and South St. Louis Avenue, right outside Marquette Park. Charges are expected. Amazon just announced this morning it's slashing 16,000 jobs. It's the second round of layoffs since October when the company laid off 14,000 workers. U.S.-based staff is being given 90 days to look for a new role internally, but those who don't get placed will be offered severance and health insurance. Mayor Brandon Johnson is in Washington, D.C. to address the National Press Club. He's expected to speak about the challenges in governing a major city during President Trump's second term, including immigration raids. A man has been arrested after using a syringe to spray U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar with an unknown substance. It happened Tuesday during a town hall in Minneapolis. Omar had just called for the abolishment of ICE and for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to resign when it all happened.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Omar was not hurt. She spoke for about 25 more minutes after that, saying she would not be intimidated. The man is charged with assault. Now,
Gabriella, it's not just Democrats calling for the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Some Republicans are doing the same. GOP Senators Lisa Murkowski and Thom Tillis are calling for Noem to step aside or be fired. They have previously been critical of the Trump administration, those two lawmakers. For now, President Trump says Noem will not be stepping down.
And all of this does come in the wake of another deadly shooting in Minneapolis. We now know that two federal officers fired shots during the encounter that killed ICU nurse Alex Preddy at that anti-ICE protest on Saturday. President Trump yesterday would not say whether he believed the shooting was justified.
We're doing a big investigation. I want to see the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation.
According to a DHS spokesperson, investigators say they have body cam video from at least 4 Border Patrol agents who were on that scene. After initially being denied access, Minnesota investigators were back at that scene yesterday working around that growing memorial. The White House says the Department of Homeland Security is going to be leading the federal probe. Meantime, a Bolingbrook man is in ICE custody this morning after federal agents say he rammed a law enforcement vehicle.
Roseanne is in Broadview with the latest. Roseanne?
Well, his family says he had no idea that the armed men in unmarked cars who surrounded him were federal agents because they didn't identify themselves. So in a panic, they say he took off. Now, a cousin told us that he suggested 40-year-old Giovanni Sotelo go to Bolingbrook police to report the encounter he had just had, but federal agents were waiting and they took him into custody when he got there. The agents say when they approached the pickup Sotelo was in and asked him to exit, he refused and then drove right into a federal vehicle. The cousin says these broken windows were caused by ICE and says Sotelo was terrified and didn't know who the men were. Residents rallied around him at a vigil in Bolingbrook last night. They are calling on village leaders to do more to protect members of the community from immigration agents.
As we're seeing, this is now elevated as ICE agents have become more emboldened to do what they want because they feel there is no consequences for their actions at the level above them, that they can do whatever they want. As we saw this past weekend, anyone's at risk. They're pulling out guns, they're breaking windows to cars, and they're just honestly terrorizing our communities.
Now, Bolingbrook police tell us that they had no role in this incident other than to file a property damage report for Sotelo. In Broadview this morning, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
All right, Roseanne, thank you. A local lawmaker is making a new push to cut funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
Brian Jackson's here to break down that proposal.
Well, Chicago Congresswoman Delia Ramirez is pushing legislation that not only eliminates DHS, it also defunds ICE and its detention centers. The Congresswoman cites recent immigration enforcement actions, both here in Chicago and Minneapolis, as some of the reasons to halt funding to ICE immediately. The Melt ICE Act would divert billions in taxpayer dollars into wraparound services, including housing, health care, and community service. And local leaders are looking to strengthen Chicago's sanctuary city policy during ramped-up immigration enforcement. The alders said that they want more accountability for those who break the Welcome in City ordinance. On Tuesday, they debated a measure that would give COPA, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, the power to investigate police or city officials that break the ordinance, which prevents city officials and police from cooperating with federal civil immigration enforcement.
And every single day we work to uphold the values of a welcoming city. This amendment to the COPA ordinance is doing just that. It's making sure that we have the infrastructure and the systems to hold people accountable.
If we don't make these changes now, I fear for what it will look like between now and March when ICE does come back.
The measure passed out of committee, and a handful of alders who have been in favor of modifying the Welcome in City ordinance in the other direction did not comment on this latest proposal. Anthony?
All right, thank you, Brian. After more than 20 years in prison, a Chicago man is out of jail this morning. He is awaiting a new trial. Antonio Porter was convicted in the 2002 murder of Lamond Harrison, who was shot during a dice game. Now, a Cook County judge is ordering a new trial over concerns about the credibility of key police testimony. No word yet on when his new trial will begin.
We now know a massive church fire in Fort Heights was an accident. The Illinois State Fire Marshal's office would not tell us any other new details. The True Light Temple of Praise Church caught fire last Wednesday. The pastor says the nearly 60-year-old church was being renovated at the time.
All right, 8:10. Time to check back in with Caitlin Cody. I like that we have bright sunshine today.
Me too, yes.
But I'm a little concerned that we had another couple rounds of snow, perhaps, in our forecast.
I say couple, but really I feel like it's going to be one chunk of time, starting Thursday night, Friday, even Saturday.
Okay.
Snowfall. And lake effect snow, that is going to be the fluffy type of snow. And unfortunately, with the temperatures as cold as they are, the salt isn't going to be quite as effective as it could be. So talking about today, though, it's quiet. Temperatures are in the single digits, some of us below zero. It's 3 at the lakefront, 1 degree below zero at Woodstock, 1 at O'Hare, as well as Morris and Kankakee. So it's cold, but it's beautiful. We have sunshine today, mostly sunny skies is what we're calling it. Even tomorrow is going to be very similar. But the feel like temperature right now is 1 degree below zero at the lakefront, 13 degrees below zero at O'Hare, 14 below zero in Gary, 15 below zero in Aurora. So the wind chill, of course, similar to the past couple of days. You got to layer it up and cover every part of your body. Over the next 12 hours, that feel like temperature is going to hardly climb into the single digits. But I like to see it. Around 3 degrees this afternoon at our peak is what it's going to feel like. Heading on into the evening, dropping back down below zero by 7 to 8 p.m. Here's our future cast. Let's take a look at your day. Again, today we are going to have those mostly sunny skies, and that's going to be the case tomorrow as well. For our neighbors in Michigan, goodness gracious, Berrien County, LaPorte County even, you could be seeing some snowfall. Cannot catch a break. Heading on into, though, Friday early, you can see the snow that's moving in, which will quickly drop visibility. We're going to have that on and off snowfall expected Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast, including the warm up and when we could actually reach freezing temperatures ahead.
Caitlin, thank you. And still ahead, a financial expert joins us in studio to talk about the tax change that could get you thousands more on your return.
I am intrigued about that. All right, we also have more weather coverage next on this Wednesday. But first, here's a quick look at your 7-day forecast as we head to break. We'll be right back.
What are you girls doing?
We're doing all the heating, plumbing, and electric around here.
All right, I know you girls know stuff, but let's leave it to our trusted local experts. Let's call Four Seasons.
It's about time you figured it out.
Whether it's heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, air duct cleaning, or generators, you can always trust Four Seasons.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Live better, vote more.
All you need to live long.
All right, time now 8:14 on your Wednesday morning. Another cold start to the day. We'll check back in with Caitlin in a moment. But first, just some breaking news. A homicide investigation is underway in Oswego.
Gabriella Primus here with that and other top stories that we're following. Gabby?
Yeah, we're trying to get on that right away. Police were called this morning to the 400 block of Valentine Way and found a woman dead inside a home. Sky Fox was just over that neighborhood where it happened. Here's some video. Witnesses told police they saw a man running from that area. Officers used that description to pull over a driver who they then arrested. Investigators are now asking people who live in the following neighborhoods, Prescott Mill, Hudson Point, and Echelon Oswego, to check their security cameras for anything suspicious. In Bolingbrook, a man is in custody after a dramatic encounter with federal immigration agents on Tuesday morning. Agents say they approached a pickup truck where the man was seated and asked him to get out of the car. But the man's family says he had no idea who they were, and agents never identified themselves. They say he refused and drove into the federal vehicle head-on. A man has been arrested after using a syringe to spray U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar with an unknown substance. It happened Tuesday during a town hall meeting in Minneapolis. Omar had just called for the abolishment of ICE. When it happened, she was not hurt. Natalie.
And Gabriella, tax season is here. I know that's not the greatest news for everybody. The government owes a lot of families in Illinois money. And thanks to recent changes, you may be entitled to thousands of dollars in refunds. But there is a catch here. Sarah Sahib is the director of Economic Security Illinois. Sarah, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, sure. So what does this mean for people across the state?
So this is at Economic Security Illinois. We worked really hard with a coalition of organizations across the state to put more money in your pocket this tax season. And so this year, the child tax credit is doubling. So if you're a parent of a child under the age of 12, you could be eligible for up to $650. And with the combined CTC and the earned income credit, you could be eligible for up to $2,000 this tax season.
Now, are there income requirements to get that child tax credit?
Yes. So you have to have one child under the age of 12, and it's usually under about $70,000 would make you eligible.
And we know that 1 in 5 Illinoisans, according to your research, does not claim their tax credit. So how do people make sure that they're taking advantage of these new tax credits?
Absolutely. So you have to file your taxes, right? No one likes filing their taxes, but this is, give it an hour and you could end up with $2,000 cash in your pocket, which people really, really need right now to pay their bills, those rising utility bills, rent, the cost of food. So this cash can go far. So I would check first mytaxillinois.gov. That's where you can get more information on your eligibility and file your state taxes for free. Because remember, this is cash coming from the state of Illinois. And then if you need help trying to find a place to file your taxes for free, you can go to getyourrefund.org.
Okay, that is wonderful advice, because what a hassle it is to file those taxes. Death and taxes, you know, we're all up for it. So when we think of Illinois, most people think of high taxes. Is this essentially a way to reduce that burden for families that you guys have lobbied for?
Absolutely. So we know that Illinois families have a higher tax burden than the wealthiest in our state. So what this does is really work to level the playing field. We know the wealthy are constantly getting tax credits and breaks for their yachts and their third homes, but this is cash in working families' pockets who can use it, you know, like I mentioned, more than ever right now during this affordability crisis.
I mentioned you guys lobby for certain pieces of legislation. Is there anything else in the pipeline that you guys are trying to get passed to bring some more relief to Illinois families?
The great thing about the child tax credit is that it's established and it's here, and that we can continue to level that playing field by expanding it and strengthening it. So this year we will be working to expand the CTC to reach more families.
And does that mean a different income requirements, or how are you guys going to go about that?
No, it wouldn't be different income requirements necessarily. It would be for, say, the mom that is taking some time away from work to be able to get that degree, get that training so she can go back to work and have a good job. So we want to expand it to those parents that are taking some time away from work and will be able to, those kids and those parents still need that financial stability, because we know how important cash is in creating financial stability, which improves the outcomes for people's lives immensely.
All right. Sarah, thanks so much with Economic Security Illinois.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's send it over to Caitlin. And while we're talking about kids, you're going to have to bundle them up once again today.
This week has been brutal. Yes, cold again this morning. Temperatures are in the single digits, if not below zero in Chicagoland, depending on where you are. But it's really nice looking. Another day starting off with sunny blue skies. Right now, temperatures are at 3 degrees from the lakefront to 1 degree, single degree at O'Hare to Chicago Heights and Gary. 1 degree below zero in McHenry County for Woodstock. 1 degree below zero in Valpo. These are the actual temperatures. So your heat has just been probably kicking constantly. Well, the wind chill, the feel like temperature outside, what's more important if you have to be outdoors, it feels like we could be below zero for all of us. Around 10 to almost 20 degrees below zero for the wind chill currently. 11 degrees below zero at the lakefront, 13 below zero at O'Hare, 15 below zero in Aurora. Let's take you through your day, where this afternoon highs are going to be in the mid to upper teens. Now, temperatures are going to feel like we could be in the low single digits this afternoon, but we do have plenty of sunshine to look forward to. Tomorrow's going to be much of the same. Quiet conditions, sunny skies, temperatures, they're going to be pushing back into the teens in the afternoon. Here we go through Thursday afternoon, 2:45, 15 degrees. Then we have the chance for some lake effect snowfall to develop. Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday, the chance for snow, which could be dropping visibility and also dropping quick accumulation, especially for lakeside locations. This is Friday morning, 9:15, and seeing that band of snow. Unfortunately, within these bands of snow that move in, we are going to see drops in visibility, which could lead to, again, hazardous travel, slick roads. 7-day forecast, temperatures are going to be slowly climbing back to the 20s this weekend. 22 expected Saturday, Sunday around 28, and then next week, we could actually be reaching freezing by Tuesday. Natalie.
All right. Thank you, Caitlin. A lot coming up for you here on Good Day Chicago, and also Chicago Now after the morning show. Neighbors in Westridge working to honor a local crossing guard. We're going to tell you how he went above and beyond to get above and beyond his job, rather, to help a student. Groundhog Day almost here, and we are anxiously awaiting Puxatawny Phil's prediction. We're going to detail a unique day at Navy Pier next week that has an Animal House twist. And actors Patrick Dempsey and Michael Imperioli join us to talk about their new Fox TV show, Memory of a Killer. All that and more coming your way starting at 10 a.m.
Hi, Dave.
Welcome back. Indiana lawmakers just approved a bill aimed at providing a little relief from utility bills costs.
This is something we've talked a lot about here. People tell us their NIPSCO utility bills have spiked in the last couple months, and they are struggling to pay them. This is a new reality. The new measure creates a levelized billing plan, so there are no surprises, and it allows people to opt out at any time. It would also prohibit utility companies from promoting a budget billing plan unless it offers specific forms of customer relief.
Too often, customers are left without a clear answer on why their bills have risen or how their money is being used. This is why I sent a letter to the IURC last September asking for an investigation into NIPSCO's rates, transparency, and payment systems.
Unfortunately, sales tax exemptions aren't just relief, they're permanent change to the revenue base. Even if the tax is collected at the state level, sales tax revenues flow through a broader fiscal ecosystem.
Yeah, one of the things they looked at was trying to cut out the sales tax. But apparently, lawmakers are not going to go for that. So this bill now moves on to the Senate. This comes as hundreds of NIPSCO customers get ready to protest outside of offices in both Hammond and Merrillville next week.
The faculty at Elgin Community College is demanding better pay and a fair contract as we take a look at video of them rallying before the board meeting at the college last night. They say they want a contract that prioritizes student and faculty needs.
We owe it to the students. We owe it to them, because I'm here today because I have students that come to my class. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And they deserve to have the best. They deserve to have the best quality education.
The union represents some 300 faculty members. The most recent contract expired January 1st.
Amazon closing all of its Fresh and Go grocery stores. The company plans to focus on the Whole Foods brand and same-day grocery delivery. Amazon says the last day of operations for all of its locations is this Sunday, February 1st. Although those signs were on the doors of many of those stores yesterday. In Illinois, Amazon operates 10 Fresh locations, just a handful of Go locations downtown. Amazon says some of these stores will become Whole Foods markets. And they also say some of its employees will be repositioned within the company. The United Center about to do something that no big arena in the country has done yet. It's going to start selling hemp-derived THC drinks at concerts and other shows. Each can has 5 milligrams in it. That amount hits most people like a glass of wine does. I am told, I don't know from experience. It takes 20 to 30 minutes before you can feel it, I am also told. You have to be 21 to buy one of those beverages. They're going to set up stands at certain spots at the United Center.
We've had the business here in Chicago for 10 years. The United Center is the premier venue, and being able to expose consumers to our brands, to our lifestyle brands that are safe, highly functional, great products is super exciting. And what we're seeing is consumers are leaning away from alcohol, choosing less alcohol, and looking for alternatives. And so being able to offer this at concerts and at different kinds of live events and sports, it's a great thing for consumers, and it's an alternative.
This is happening while there is a federal ban coming down the pike. President Trump signed a law back in November that bans intoxicating hemp products starting this November.
Chicago just announced the dates for some major festivals and events happening this year. Chicago Blues Fest is going to be June 4th to 7th. Millennium Park Summer Music Series will run June 15th through August 6th. Taste of Chicago is going to be July 8th through the 12th, and the Chicago Air and Water Show is going to be the weekend of the 15th and 16th of August. And the Jazz Fest is going to run September 3rd through the 6th. So there it is if you want to mark those calendars.
I love knowing this ahead of time, especially if you have people coming into town and they're like, oh, yeah, we'll stay downtown. It's like that is the weekend of the Air and Water Show.
Yeah, that's right. Well, fun to think about those warm weather events, though.
Yes, totally. The human race apparently closer to extinction than ever before. We're going to talk with one of the scientists who decides the time on the doomsday clock. She's going to join us in studio to talk about the threats that moved us closer to midnight.
Yikes. All right, this morning, it's beautiful. We've got blue skies, sunshine, but it is chilly again in Chicago. It's cold today and tomorrow, but it will be sunny before the chance for snow moves in. Lake effect snowfall, especially Friday and Saturday. A full check of your forecast is coming up. Stay with us.
This is the stuff your nightmares are made.
It is now 8:32 here on Good Day Chicago. We're following new charges in a brutal attack in Downers Grove. We'll break down the new details about the crime scene.
And a man has been arrested after spraying an unknown liquid on Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar in Minneapolis. We will tell you her reaction.
Plus, the growing calls from both Democrats and Republicans for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to step down. But first, breaking news. Police in Oswego investigating a homicide. Sky Fox just over the neighborhood here where it happened. Police say a woman sadly was found dead in a home yesterday, and neighbors saw a man running from that direction. That individual was later caught.
A man is charged with murder after a tragic crime in Downers Grove.
Gabriela Primus has that and our other top stories for you this morning.
It really does sound like a tragic story. Here's some details. Prosecutors claim 19-year-old Nadas Revutkas killed a pregnant woman and lit her apartment on fire. It happened just after 6 Monday night near the intersection of Ogden Avenue and Roosevelt Road. Medics say the 30-year-old victim appeared to have been attacked with something sharp. Revutkas is facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder and arson. Neighbors described the night of the fire as alarming.
I just got home. The fire alarms had gone off. About 5 minutes later, matter of fact, my roommate said there's a fire in the next building. So I jumped, got my clothes back on, came down, and there was probably 12 to 14 fire trucks out here last night. So we all had to get evacuated. So yeah, they were out here for quite a while. Then the police had showed up.
Police have not said if the suspect and the victim knew each other. The coroner is trying to find out exactly how she died. 2 people are fighting for their lives in the hospital after crashing a stolen car overnight. Police say they found the car slammed into a viaduct near the intersection of North Marquette Road and South St. Louis Avenue. This is right outside Marquette Park. Charges are expected. Amazon just announced this morning it's slashing 16,000 jobs. It's the second round of layoffs since October when the company laid off 14,000 workers. U.S.-based staff is being given 90 days to look for a new role internally. Those who don't get placed will be offered severance and health insurance. Mayor Brandon Johnson is in Washington, D.C. to address the National Press Club. He's expected to speak about the challenges in governing a major city during President Trump's second term, including immigration raids. A man has been arrested after using a syringe to spray U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar with an unknown substance. It happened Tuesday during a town hall in Minneapolis. Omar had just called for the abolishment of ICE and for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to resign when it all happened.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Omar was not hurt. She spoke for about 25 more minutes, saying she would not be intimidated. The man is charged with assault. Natalie.
Gabriella, not just Democrats calling for the impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Some Republicans are as well. GOP Senators Lisa Murkowski and Tom Tillis are calling for Noem to step aside or be fired. Now, they have previously been critical of the Trump administration. For now, President Trump says Noem will not be stepping down.
And all of this comes in the wake of the most recent shooting, deadly shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis. DHS is saying now that 2 federal officers fired shots during the encounter that killed ICU nurse Alex Preddy at an anti-ICE protest on Saturday. President Trump yesterday would not say whether he believed that the shooting was justified.
We're doing a big investigation. I want to see the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation.
According to a DHS spokesperson, investigators have body cam video from at least 4 Border Patrol agents who were there on the scene after initially being denied access in Minnesota. So state investigators were allowed back at that scene yesterday. They were working around the growing memorial that's been set up there. The White House says the Department of Homeland Security is the one, though, leading that federal probe.
The FBI is investigating a shooting involving federal agents in Arizona. Authorities say the agents were going after a man they believe was involved in human trafficking. The sheriff's department says Border Patrol pulled him over, then he got out and ran off. And while running, the FBI says the man shot at a Border Patrol helicopter, and that's when agents returned fire.
After more than 20 years in prison, a Chicago man is out of jail this morning awaiting a new trial. Antonio Porter was convicted in the 2002 murder of Lamond Harrison, who was shot during a dice game, and now a Cook County judge is ordering a new trial over concerns about the credibility of some key police testimony. No word yet on when Porter's new trial will begin.
We now know a massive church fire in Ford Heights was an accident. The Illinois State Fire Marshal's office would not tell us any other new details. The True Light Temple of Praise Church caught fire last Wednesday. The pastor says the nearly 60-year-old church was being renovated at the time.
All right, it's 8:38 as we take a live look outside at the corner of Michigan and Lake. It is cold out there, Caitlin.
It's cold. Yep, we're kind of on a broken record here, right? Every day. It's cold, but it's beautiful. Right now, it's 4 degrees at the lakefront. Checking in on those temps around Chicagoland. 1 single degree from Merrillville to Kankakee to O'Hare. It's 0 in Waukegan, 2 in DeKalb, 2 in Aurora. It's quiet out there this morning, though. Sunny skies. Those are going to carry us through the afternoon, too. But talking about our highs, right around 17 degrees. It's going to feel like we could be around 2 or 3 at our peak this afternoon. So the wind chill stays cold, but at least we are climbing into the single digits with that west wind up to 20 miles per hour. So it's a little bit calmer today with that gusty wind. Tonight, getting down to about 3 with the northwest wind around 5 to 10. But again, we're going to have those wind chills dropping down to around 5 to 15 degrees below 0 to start off your Thursday. Thursday will be another beautiful day, a high of about 16. A sunny day, quiet conditions, cold. 5-day forecast for high temperatures. We are going to be climbing this weekend back to the 20s, which, by the way, our normal high is 31. So we are well below where we should be for this time of year. Heading into early next week, that's when freezing could return. But we do have the potential for some lake effect snow, especially Thursday night, Friday, Saturday night, the chance for some lake effect. We are going to have the potential for drops in visibility and quick accumulations, 3 to 6 inches, not out of the question next to the lake. So our 7-day forecast shows, as mentioned, the climbing temperatures this weekend with that chance for snow. And then next week, we see the 30s return. Monday around 30 degrees, then freezing expected on Tuesday. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. It is cold outside, but the temperatures don't have to keep you inside. At 9 o'clock, Secret Chicago is going to give us the inside scoop on some unmissable plans for the weekend ahead. They're inside, don't worry. You won't want to miss that segment. We'll be right back.
Weather Authority.
Okay, time now 8:42. Sunny start to the day, and it's going to be another cold one. We'll check back in with Caitlin in just moments, but we are following breaking news this morning. It's a homicide investigation that's now underway in Oswego.
Gabriela Primus here with that and some of the other headlines.
Yeah, we tried getting on this right away. Police were called to the 400 block of Valentine Way on Tuesday. Sky Fox was just over that neighborhood not too long ago where it happened. Police say a woman was found dead in a home and neighbors saw a man running from that direction. The person was later caught. In Bolingbrook, a man is in custody after a dramatic encounter with federal immigration agents on Tuesday morning. Agents say they approached a pickup truck where the man was seated and asked him to get out of the car, but the man's family says he had no idea who they were, and agents never identified themselves. Officers say he refused and drove into the federal vehicle head on. A man has been arrested after using a syringe to spray U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar with an unknown substance. It happened Tuesday during a town hall in Minneapolis. Omar had just called for the abolishment of ICE when it happened. She was not hurt. Anthony.
Okay, thank you, Gabby. Not to alarm anybody out there, but the apocalypse, apparently closer than ever. The Chicago-based nonprofit, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, ticked its doomsday clock forward on Monday, so it's now down to 85 seconds to midnight. That is the closest it's ever been before. So here to explain what this all means is Cannette Benedict. She's a senior advisor on the Bulletin. Cannette, thank you for being here. For folks who are unfamiliar with this, with the clock itself, give us the overview of exactly what it is before we dive into why it's been changed.
Yeah. The clock is a device, a communications device that the Bulletin has had for now 80 years, and it's meant to convey the dangers that we face, the existential risks that we face from technologies of our own making. It started with a nuclear bomb, but other technologies are also proving to be pretty disastrous.
Okay, so it's down to 85 seconds. I understand it was at 90 seconds before. What does that mean? Like, how do we put that in context for folks?
Well, it means we have 85 seconds left to get our act together so that we can make sure we don't all perish in a catastrophe of our own making. But it is the closest we've been to midnight. It started out at about 7 minutes to midnight in 1947, so it's moved back and forth. It can move back away from midnight as well if we get together and solve some of these problems. So it's a dangerous point, a very dangerous point.
So it has moved back in the past. Okay. How many seconds was it at during the whole Bay of Pigs crisis situation?
Well, we were back at minutes to midnight at that point.
Okay.
And the Cuban Missile Crisis was so quick, it was over in about 10 days, so that the clock really didn't have a chance to move, if you can put it that way. And in fact, after that, we had some real breakthroughs. The Test Ban Treaty of 1963 was put in place. The U.S. and the Soviet Union started negotiations and talking. So it seemed like a pretty good time at that point, and even though there was that crisis, but the crisis led to a solution to a big problem.
So sometimes things get worse before they get better. Cold War's in the rearview mirror, presumably now, and this is the closest it's been. So let's run through some of the factors that have it at 85 seconds right now, symbolic seconds, that is. The nuclear situation is just one aspect, right?
It is one aspect. It's perhaps, though, the most troubling, but in a way the easiest to fix. We have a treaty that is expiring on February 6th between the U.S. and Russia that limits our nuclear weapons. But yes, we also have added climate change, which is, as we know, bringing about damage all over the planet right now. Drought, flooding, fires, very cold temperatures, very hot temperatures. And we're not really cooperating very well to make sure that that doesn't really cause much more damage. They focus also on biological threats, pandemics, novel pathogens that scientists are creating in the lab, and artificial intelligence, which we're not regulating very well internationally, and coupled with nuclear command and control, or with new biological pathogens, could be very, very dangerous.
Wow. One more question before we let you go, Kenneth, is what can folks do, nations do, tech leaders do to move this back from the brink here at 85 seconds?
Well, we clearly need international cooperation, and unfortunately, the reason the clock hand moved so close to midnight is because we're seeing a rise in nationalism, competition, adversary relations, and those do not help us in addressing any of these problems. Individuals can get smart, find out the facts, and the Bulletin is a place for authoritative articles and knowledge about these challenges, and also talk to people. You know, I mean, it's not a fun topic.
Right.
I know that.
Right.
But it's necessary if we're going to be able to really address the challenges. Talk to your political leaders, talk to your congressional members, and support organizations that are working on these issues as well. The Bulletin publishes lots of articles from people who are at organizations that folks can support, read, join, and support with their donations.
Real quick, Kenneth, where can folks find that documentation?
The www.thebulletin.org is the Bulletin's website, and it's got tremendous information, which is fact-based, let's put it that way.
Fact-based,
yes,
that's important.
Very important these days, and I think that's the real challenge for us today.
All right, thank you so much for breaking that down for us, Kenneth Benedict. We appreciate it. All right, Caitlin, sending it over to you to talk about the weather and kind of preview what we have coming up. It's we're just stuck in like this rinse and repeat, copy-paste situation.
That's true. Sunny skies, cold temperatures today, tomorrow. Then we get some interesting weather, not in the best way. We're going to have lake effect snow to end the week. But let's talk about right now, because satellite radar shows generally quiet conditions. Today we're going to have less wind than we had yesterday, but the cold is back. Sunny skies, but 4 degrees at the lakefront, 1 at O'Hare and Merrillville, 2 in Kankakee. Feeling like we could be around 10 to 20 degrees below zero right now, stepping out the door. Into the afternoon, the feel-like temperature will be in the low single digits as our actual highs push to the mid and upper teens. So our futurecast shows a beautiful day ahead. Really quiet conditions, just cold. Temperatures should be in the low 30s instead of the mid and upper teens. Tonight, we're dropping back down to feel-like temperatures below zero. Actual temperatures hovering in the low single digits for most. Getting into tomorrow morning, 7:30, and temperatures are right around 1 to 2 for us from the lakefront to O'Hare. And then in the afternoon, we're back to the mid and upper teens. So it is going to be another day just like today with sunny skies and cold temperatures before some lake effect snow develops. And that's going to impact us on Friday and Saturday. Now, next to the lake, quick accumulations, fluffy snow, slick roads, drops in visibility expected. 7-day forecast does show the 20s, though, back this weekend. And then we're seeing the 30s to start off next week. It's 8:50. Jake, what are you getting into?
Caitlin, Cody, listen, I know it's not your fault, but a lot of people are sick and tired of the cold and the snow and the winter. So if you want a little preview of the summer months, some sunshine to be had, come on out to the Donald E. Stephens Convention Center. We are live at the Chicago Boat Show. A little preview of what maybe some fun we can have on the water this summer. All right, guys, this one's mine. I'll let you pick which one you want coming up next right here on Good Day Chicago.
Fox 32 News is brought to you.
Temperatures are in the single digits with this morning. We are getting ready for sunny days on a friend's boat on Lake Michigan.
I think Playpen, that's right. Jake is live with a sneak peek at the Discover Boating Chicago Boat Show out in Rosemont. Jake, what are you seeing out there?
A lot of boats, guys. Listen, I don't know about you. I feel like January has felt about 6 months long. If you need a reminder of why we love this city, of the summer months to come, why not come on out to the Donald E. Stephens Convention Center? It is the Chicago Boat Show, and there are a lot of reminders of the fun that can be had when the temperatures warm up a little bit in a couple of months. It kicks off today. It runs through Sunday. Take a look at this. 430 boats are going to be out here. Over 200 pontoon boats. You can come out here. You can get inside of them. You can poke around. Even if it's a boat that you have no business buying, no intent of buying, but you've always just wanted to go inside and see what it looked like, you can do that. It's also a very interactive show, guys. In addition to the hundreds of boats that you can sort of look inside and see what's going on, they have a lot of interactive fun. They have VR experiences. They have bumper boats. They have a paddle fest pool. They even have a trout pond, so you can get a little feel for some of the fun that can be had. So I don't know about you. I've always been curious to just kind of poke around in some of these things. I'm going to be honest. I'm never going to be able to buy a boat like this, but it's nice to kind of poke in and kind of see what they look like. This is just one of the over 400 boats that they have out here. The tickets for adults to come out to the show, $15 if you buy them online. If you wait to get them at the door, you're going to pay just a little bit more. It's going to be $17. So if you want to get your tickets in advance, that's going to be chicagoboatshow.com. So as we kind of look around and we're going to be live out here throughout the morning, guys. Take a look out there. There's no shortage of boats for us to be nosy. Ooh, there's a big yacht over there to the left. I'm going to call that Anthony Ponce's. Let's see. I think I see Natalie's in the distance. I got to find one worthy of Natalie Bomke. There are a lot of nice boats here. I've always been a fan. Let's see, over on this side, I always like the pontoon boats, or as I called them when we were growing up, they were always referred to as the party barges. That's always been my vibe. You guys mentioned the playpen. I've never really been cool enough to ever be invited to the playpen, but this is what I would imagine you would be like. Look, this would be like me and all my friends, if I had some out on the playpen. So I'm going to try to see if I can make some. I heard laughter back there. I'm going to try to make some friends. Try to see if maybe one of the parting gifts for reporters on these live shots is you get to take a boat home with you.
Yeah,
so take a look around. We're going to be live out here throughout the morning. You don't know Bomke, maybe. On that note, we're tossing it back to you guys. Again, it is the Chicago Boat Show, Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. It kicks off today, runs through Sunday. Cheaper tickets if you get them online. That's going to be chicagoboatshow.com as we toss it back to you guys in the studio.
Captain Jake Hamilton.
I know. It has a ring to it, doesn't it?
Yes. It does, Jake. Thank you, sir. It's fun to think about.
I could only afford a dinghy at this point, so if it's a rubber boat, then it's in my budget. The 9 o'clock hour of Good Day Chicago starts next.
Fox 32 News.